Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerd Holes, digging into some more Dragon Ball Z. So this month, Will and I are digging into the feels good to be out of the other saga. We're finally like in the thick of Namek stuff. We're not still looking for Namek and doing side missions that are pointless, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, like what we usually do is I ask you, since this is your first time seeing this, how are you enjoying the first section here?
It was interesting. I thought it kind of went back and forth a couple times between um like moving the story and then like not moving the story. So sometimes it would like you'd have an episode you're like, oh, it would be like, oh, okay, cool. And then like the next episode would happen and it'd be like, oh, all right, cool. And then you'd have like two episodes that like nothing really happens in them.
Hmm.
And then you'd have like another episode you're like, oh, all right, cool. It was just like it kind of did that for me a little bit, but I
Yeah.
did genuinely enjoy the general like I don't know, I guess ending or start of the next bit. I don't know how to like
Hmm. Kind of like where we leave off.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it here so I can give you the exact. I think we watched 52 to 62.
It sounds pretty
And
good.
that's what I watched.
Oh, maybe I watched everything.
So 52 is the past and the future, and 62 is new ally, new problem.
Hmm, got it.
I'm pretty sure that's what I went back to our old episode and listened to what I said we were watching, and that's what I said, but maybe we talked about something else. I don't know.
Nope, that makes the most sense. That's okay. I watched a little bit farther than that, but that's
Oh, okay.
okay.
Because oh, I guess that is what they're calling that. It's so weird. There's so many different lists of episodes that like tell you where the sagas are. It's so they're saying that all the way to 67 is like the Namek saga, and then the Captain Ginyu saga starts at 68, which uh, they show up in like episode whatever 59. It's like I don't get how these lists work, but that's weird. So how far did you go? Did you see Goku on Namek yet? Is that where you
Yes.
are? Okay.
I watched up to 67.
67.
Yep.
Wow. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you saw a lot of stuff then.
Yeah, and I think if I had only watched what we had talked about, I don't know if I would have been like other than the Zarbon stuff, I don't think I
Yeah.
would have been like wow. I would have been like,
Mm.
okay. It wasn't really super fulfilling
Yeah.
until the Ginyu Force like show up.
So basically kind of what they're setting up in this section here is they're at least for me anyway, they're trying to make you kind of care about like Vegeta.
Yes.
Um so where I left off was 62 is when like Vegeta and Krillin and Gohan are kind of together when the Ginyu Force show up and to
Yes, yeah.
take the balls. So they kind of team up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you've seen a little bit further. So you've seen the whole fight, the whole Ginyu fight, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So let me see here. So basically 63, 64, 65. They fight. Goku arrives in 66.
Yeah.
So there's still four more episodes until he shows up. That's that's the thing. And I'm sure that you've kind of noticed now by now is like that's kind of what the theme is always like, oh, Goku will be here any minute.
Oh yeah.
And it's like eight episodes until he shows up.
Yeah, and it's weird. I mean, it is legitimately weird going from Dragon Ball where he is like at the center of everything.
Hmm.
And then it's like now we're gonna follow all of these side characters and
Yeah.
Goku's coming, don't you
Yeah.
worry.
See,
It's
yeah, I know, I agree because Goku's great. This is almost kind of like it's like Dragon Ball 2.0, right? It's like Krillin and Gohan are now
right.
like Goku and Krillin on an
Yeah.
adventure for the Dragon Balls with Bulma, even though Bulma's now an adult and she sucks.
She does suck pretty
She's
bad.
she's really bad in this section, and yeah, I'm like kind of like forgot how much like you go from liking her to just like I'm just sick of seeing her
Right.
doing stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know why. It's like so she went on these adventures been back in the day, but now she's just like you just feel kind of like she's just inept. Like she doesn't do anything. She doesn't want to do anything. She like complains about being there, and it's like she's the reason that they went there,
Yeah, right.
and she can't do anything. And then we have that full episode where she it's such an awful episode. The Bulma's big day where she
Oh, yes. That's
goes
awful.
to get the Dragon Ball that she
Yeah.
misplaces, and it's just this whole thing, and it's just like I don't care.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't care.
pointless. It's pointless.
You could just you just skip that episode. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
pretty
rough.
awful. It's bad. But yeah, so how do you like as like I know that you know like Vegeta is a main guy like later on, but like in this section, are you starting to like come around to his character, or are you still kind of not really a fan of him?
It's a weird thing that they did with like Piccolo as well. Is like
Hmm.
I think the overall character development they end up doing really well, but I feel like everybody turns good like on a dime kind of a thing.
Hmm.
And I sometimes feel like they focus more on the fact that like they're getting stronger or like they're doing all this stuff to have more like energy in their body or they can do bigger and better attacks, but they don't really super flesh out why this like evil person is like, well, yeah, I'll just work with you guys now.
Yeah.
Instead of like having it naturally, I don't know, it just with both of them, like Vegeta and Piccolo, like it's legitimately weird for Piccolo to be at King Kai's place. For
I
me,
think for your point, I think the Piccolo arc is weirder. It's more overnight.
yes.
Vegeta at this point very much is just like the Ginyu forces here, like I'm like dead if I don't
And I
convince like Krillin and Gohan to like help me summon the dragon so that like I can't like I'm your only hope basically.
and I agree that his is like a stronger turn. It just still feels I don't know, it just felt less earned because like this whole
Yeah.
time he's like a nasty guy and he's a real like you're really I don't want to say scared, but like you think he's gonna be the threat, and then all of a sudden these guys show up and nothing against those guys, but they're
Well, there's
like
a lot against
so
those guys.
they're so goofy, and then they
Yeah.
all ultimately get like I mean, however episodes are getting to, but basically they're not as powerful as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a funny thing that like Toriyama does that where he introduces like these like all these guys are really like powerful and then like they're just goofy, stupid idiots. And it's like,
Right.
and that's I think that's just a Dragon Ball thing. I think that's just like a funny
Just yeah.
Japan style like comedy, you know. Like wouldn't it
And
be
it
funny
make
if these guys are like really, really dangerous? It's like, you know what it is? It's Three Musketeers, not Three Musketeers. Yeah. No, not Three Musketeers. What's the movie with Martin Short and
oh, Three Amigos.
Three Amigos? That's it. Yeah. Where it's like they go into town and like everybody thinks that these are like the legendary like assassins that have
Oh
been like
yes.
hired, and they're like you don't mess with them, you know?
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
doing like they're just actors and they're just like singing and they're just doing like
yeah.
it's that. That's what it is. That's the comedy style. It's
I can see it. I can see
these
it.
guys show up and they're like, "Oh my, like Vegeta is scared."
Right.
And you're like, "Oh man, these guys are gonna be like that one episode they show them like getting in their pods and like leaving the base and they're just like in shadow and they got like these menacing like
Yeah.
like body style and art style where it's just like got the horns and stuff and then they show up and they do their pose, the whole like pose thing and it's just like, oh, I don't really care about these guys. These are like Vegeta's like or these are like
Freezes.
Frieza's like special force. But even
Right.
like he's embarrassed when they show up.
Yes,
You remember Frieza gets like red in the face
he
because of
does.
their like intro. And that's the thing, is like so these are his like special you guys that he uses all the time. But like do they do the intro every single time they show up for a job?
Yes. The answer is yes, because every time they show them, they that's what they do.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Do you did
They're
so? Yeah, you didn't get to that thing because there's literally an episode where Captain Ginyu is
Mm. Oh, he
like
doesn't he dance for Frieza at the end, like the celebration thing?
he does, but he's literally getting more Ginyu Force guys and he's having them pose. He has like tryouts for the Ginyu Force and he has all these people like strike poses and then they don't, and he like whips them into the air and stuff. And
Yes, that's right.
so here's the funny thing. Remember how I said to you, all I remember is a guy with horns, and you were like, you're probably thinking of like a different form of Frieza. Nope, it was
You were
Captain
thinking
Ginyu,
the purple. But you
the
didn't say he
purple.
was purple.
I didn't say he was purple, but that's
Okay.
who I was thinking of. But I didn't
If
know it was
you
Captain Ginyu.
if you would have said purple guy with horns, I would have said Ginyu.
But purple guy with horns is also Frieza very much too. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really funny that you remember Captain Ginyu.
I don't remember his voice or anything or any of his behavior, but
Yeah.
the second, not because in the first time we see him, like you said, it's just silhouettes.
Hmm.
But then when they show up, he's like, and he like sticks his head between his legs, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Captain Ginyu," and I was like, oh, that's the guy I remember.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So the Ginyu Force is made up of Birder, he's the blue one.
he's that guy behind you.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yep,
You got Recoome, he's like the red-haired guy,
yep,
big dumb, idiot guy, right? You got to have a big
yep.
idiot guy.
I know Recoome very well.
There's Guru,
Yeah,
he's the
it's like
green short guy.
Gulu or yeah, whatever. Yeah,
I like that episode where he's like he has like beef with Vegeta and Krillin's like, why does this guy want to fight Vegeta so bad? Vegeta could just like destroy him so easily. And then there's Chase, he's the space Australian guy.
yep. Oh, I'm Jace.
Good eye, mates. It's
He
so
he does
bad.
this thing when they reveal him and with his whatever, and he literally does the thing that you always do. And I was like, is this where Caleb is getting it from? I wish I could remember
Probably.
what it was, but he's like, no, I'm Jace. No, it's me. He does something real crazy, and I was just like, oh no. It was
Most
very
of
funny.
my deep rooted mannerisms stem from Dragon Ball Z as a kid. So yeah, they're all like super over the top. Captain Ginyu's probably the most normal one, but even he has
He's not
Oh
too
boy.
normal.
Yeah. I like that though, like when they show up and they're about to like wish the dragon, and Vegeta's like, we don't have time for this, and then they like show up immediately, like right behind him.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, ah, and he like throws the Dragon Ball. Ah. And Birder like goes and gets it like super fast, and it's like, oh man. I like how they set that up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, break it, break the ball. And Krillin's like, yeah. And it disappears, yeah, because yeah, what's his name?
Birder.
Girder, yeah. He
Birder.
can control Girder.
No, Birder.
No, it's a G.
No, it's a B. It's Birder. The blue guy.
Yeah, no, the green guy.
Oh, it's like Gulu or something like that.
Oh, Guldo.
Guldo. Yeah, there it is.
Gildo. He can, yeah, he freezes time. That's his like specialty power. He freezes time. So you've seen haven't
Well, I've seen it.
yeah. He gets karate chopped right in the neck, right?
He certainly does.
Whatcha?
He
So
certainly does.
so let's go through these quickly. And then I'll have you go through what you watched
Okay,
because I don't want to like make you rewatch those or remember them for next time. So we'll just do that. That's fine. I've seen this before, but
I'm familiar with it.
yeah. So 52 is the past and the future. I think that's just the guys training on King Kai's planet.
Tell you, the one thing that I did not
I don't.
expect out of the series, out of the show, and out of this episode specifically, which is probably what you're forgetting because you would immediately would talk about it, is
Hmm.
they're at King Kai's place and they're all standing there, and then all of a sudden Tien is like, King Kai's like, no, and he's like, what? And then Tien like shouts a joke, like like he's
Oh yeah,
channeling
yeah,
like
yeah.
himself, and then he says
So
like
it's
it's like a real intense joke telling, and King Kai's like,
yeah.
ah,
It's like it's set up like it's like a battle.
yeah,
Like, why did the chicken?
right,
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think that's probably the funniest episode we've seen in this section.
yeah, just
Because even
just
like when
go ahead,
Piccolo doesn't want to like train and he runs and catches
yes,
bubbles and he's just like, I don't have time for this monkey business. And King Kai's like,
yeah,
it's like that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. He's
yeah,
like unintentionally funny. I like that.
yeah. But just that shot of King Kai being like, and everybody being like, "Well, Tien, I guess you can't do it. You're so terrible at this." And he's like, "No, I can't. I can't be a failure." And he's like really intense. And then he's like, and then they zoom into his face, and like you said, he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
pretty good.
why did the chicken cross the road?" And they're like, "Ah!" And King Kai's like, he's trying not to
It's
laugh.
really
Like,
funny.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really good.
yeah,
It's like I enjoy seeing them train on King Kai's planet. I think that's kind of cool that they're up there.
yeah.
Oh. And then 53 is Zarbon's surprise. Now, did you see you do you remember Zarbon's thing? Have you ever seen him like
I've
transform
seen the
before?
lizard guy, and I didn't realize it was him. It was one of those things that like he turned into like the lizard man, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I should have seen that coming because I've recognized the lizard man.
Yeah.
So I must have like in high school, like I must have been watching like this stretch,
Yeah,
I
this would
would
have been
say.
on. Yeah. Yeah, this is what like would have been playing on like Toonami or like after school. Because I remember like when like the Boo Saga like aired like new episodes like weekly, like
Yeah.
when I was in school, which is after little ways after this. The funny thing that I wrote down about this episode was that like Krillin and Dende were on their way to meet with Guru, the eldest Namekian.
Yep.
And every time that like they were like fighting and sensing their power, they would like stop flying and try to like figure out what what like was going on.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh, wow. I sense like they must be fighting over there." And they would just
Yeah.
like stop flying and just like, "Hey, why don't you just keep flying?"
No.
They would like they stopped like three times to like so like, "Whoa, that's unbelievable." Pow.
That's the thing I always think about that. That's what I have to always keep in my mind is like they do a lot of these long burns and a lot of these like slow storytelling elements so that when something happens, you're like, oh, yes,
Mhm.
because this individual has been training, or this is the only way to show that they're so much more powerful, kind of
Yeah,
thing. So it's
right,
like,
right, right. This is also kind of the first we get to really see like the true hidden potential of the Saiyans is like the closer they recover from death, like the stronger they get from battle.
oh, yeah,
It's very much like a important part of like their makeup that we're just like seeing now for the first time, kind of.
right.
Krillin even says like, "Oh, that explains why, Goku always just never stops getting stronger." But then like two episodes later, he's like, "How can Vegeta be this much stronger? Why is Vegeta this much more powerful?" It's like, what? Did you forget? Like two episodes? Yeah, it's fine.
He doesn't
I think
think.
that's just English translation stuff for me. Like that stuff I can let go. The stupid like filler things that
Yeah,
they say sometimes you're just like, okay, that's like a whatever, it's mistranslation or
right.
just filling time. We get to see Nail, the guy
Hmm.
who guards Guru. He's cool.
Nail.
We get to see Guru. Guru's pretty cool too. I like
Guru is
his
pretty
little
cool.
like house on the top of the mountain.
Oh, yes.
I like how he sits in that big throne and he has like the Dragon Ball up here on the top of the throne.
Yeah. You can
It's pretty
have
cool.
it. You have earned
Let
it.
me read your mind. And he like puts his whole like hand on Krillin's head.
Yeah.
But isn't that cool though how he can like awaken your hidden potential? I think that's pretty cool.
It was interesting. Yeah, I was surprised that that's like where it was going.
It's cool. So that to me is like it's an interesting part of the story. To me, it's just filler to get them to pass a few days before Goku shows up. Is
Yes.
let the whole like him and Dende go to get the ball. He finds out about the hidden power. Then he goes back to get Gohan. Um, Meanwhile, Gohan goes on his own to find the ball that Vegeta hid in the water. I like that. I like those two episodes
Yes.
where Vegeta shows up. I think it's the next one here. Yeah. Um, I kind of go through these by episodes and then I just like talk about stuff that happens episodes later. But I think yeah, that's basically so Vegeta gets beaten pretty badly in that episode.
Yeah, by Zarbon, yeah.
Yeah, like left for dead, and then Zordon just goes back to Frieza, and Frieza's like, what
Yeah,
could have like, why did you? And then the other guy comes in, he's like, "Don't worry, sir, there was one guy left, and I killed him."
that killed.
And he's like, "So you killed the only person who knew like where Vegeta would have hidden the Dragon Ball?" He's like, "You got it." It's just like bless.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty great. So the next episode 54 is Guru's Gift. This is also the one where Guru kind of explains Kami's. He's like, well, there's no way that Dragon Balls would have been on Earth. And he's like, oh, and well, Kami made him. He's like, oh, Kami, yes, the son of Gargameth made it. That's great news. And he's like, well, the only person that could have defeated him would have been a Super Saiyan. So this is the first
Yeah.
time we get to like hear Super Saiyan. Actually, no, we think we've heard it before, haven't we? I don't
No, I
think
don't
we've heard
think so.
Super Saiyan.
No. Later in the stretch, yes.
It's a thing that Vegeta knows about, right? Because he always
Yeah,
says like
but
he
he
every time he comes gets more stronger, he's like, I've realized the legend. It's like, no, no, you haven't. I think that's a running thing that I remember. Oh yeah, this is also too where Gru is like, well, you better find those Dragon Balls and we'll make your wish in 3 days because I'm gonna die in 3 days.
yes,
And you're
yeah,
like, oh my God, okay, great. Um, do. Let's see, what else did I write down here? I wrote down I really enjoy that first person flying animation. I don't, you probably don't remember it, but when Krillin gets his power up and he like blasts back to find Gohan, they show
yeah.
like they show just like a first person view of Namek and it's just like and you have like all the like land formations like coming towards
Oh,
you. It's like
okay,
really
yeah.
cool. It's really cool
It was,
animation.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
Really enjoyed it. I think this is the first time we get to see Frieza say miserable Saiyan monkey. Rick referred to him as monkeys, maybe. Maybe he has before, but this is like you really start to see that he really hates
interesting.
Saiyan monkeys.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah, I didn't think about that.
This is also too like where we start to get a time frame where he says that the Ginyu Force will be here in 5 days.
Yeah, yep.
And then Zarbon goes and finds Vegeta, brings him back to the back to tank to, bring him back to full health, making him stronger, which is the worst possible thing you could
Yeah,
have done.
right.
Yeah. And then he leaves them all alone in there with a pool is his name.
A pool.
A pool. So then 55 is Piccolo versus everybody.
Fight them
Uh,
all.
yeah. Gregory's back, so that's cool.
Gregory was back. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
And then
And
here's another
Bubbles.
here's it bubbles, yeah. Here's a funny thing. So King Kai is like all knowing and all powerful, but he doesn't know that Namekians don't eat food. He gives them all food, and then Piccolo's outside and he just drinks water and he's like, "What's the matter, Piccolo? You're not hungry?" I was like, "Namekians don't eat food, King Kai."
Yeah,
Did you forget that?
he does kind of forget a lot of things throughout
Yeah,
his.
he kind of does, yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that he knows about that he's just not talking about because later in storyline there's always there just like with Roshi, there's always like storylines are like, "Oh yeah, I knew about that." I was like, well, "Why didn't you say anything to anybody about that?" He knows about Frieza. He knows Frieza's really bad, but don't worry about that.
No,
It's pointless.
that's pointless.
I really like when he's sleeping in the rocking chair and falls out of it when everybody like when they Chaozu smashes Gregory with the hammer like through the
Oh,
wall.
yeah. Yes.
Is that true? Is this true, Gregory? Like, no. Uh-uh.
Yep.
Pretty funny. Um, I like when Piccolo like puts Chaozu's like head under the ground and they're all like, "Oh my God."
Oh.
And King Kai's like, "Hey, you're already like dead, so you can't like die again."
True. Yeah.
Pretty good. And then we kind of cut back here and we see Vegeta blows out of the back to tank.
Yeah.
He does the old like sneak around too, he like blows out of the thing and then he sends like that diversion down the hallway. And that's pretty good.
That's when it blows up and they're all like, what?
He blows up the main end. That's what he did. He blasts down the hallway and it blasts like the main engine and blows out the top of the spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then 56 is Zarbon's mission. So I really like this, like Vegeta hides on the ship and then he like runs into like Frieza's like command or the bridge or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And he like
Okay.
chucks all of like the Dragon Balls out of the window.
Yes.
And then because like nobody can like sense his power, he just like goes in the water and just like swims like out of there so nobody can find him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
enjoy that. I thought that was pretty good. This is also the episode where Goku's ship goes through that magnetic storm.
Oh wow. Yeah. He gets hit with
So
all the like
yeah,
uh exercise equipment.
it's pretty cool though. It's a pretty good way of like forcing him to train at 100 gravity. Like the computer malfunctions at 100, and it like forces him. Like
Yeah.
without that, I
He's
don't
like,
know if he would have been as strong.
I can't,
He
but I'm
tries
gonna
to use the Kamehameha thing.
yes.
Yeah. I don't know how many sensu beans he started off with, but
Yeah.
he ate at least two of them on the ship that we've seen.
Yeah.
I always like how they animate it where it's like the satchel of the sensu beans is like huge.
Yeah.
It looks like a full bag.
Yeah.
And then they'll you get to see like where like you get later. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but like it's always a thing where you get like in the middle of a battle and he's like, "Oh." And he like takes the bag and like pours it out and it's like two beans left. It's like two beans. He's just like, "Oh no."
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh, it's empty. This full bag is empty. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty gross too. He like breaks his legs, like hanging
Oh
upside down.
yeah.
It like rips his legs out of the socket from the gravity. He swings around. Pretty gross. Pretty gross. 57 is Gohan the Hunted. These episodes are named like too soon, if that makes any sense. Like Gohan's not even hunted in this episode until like the very end.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, why did you call the episode that, you know? You could have called this episode like Zarbon's defeat or something.
Yeah.
Because this is the one where Vegeta like shows up.
Gut punch.
Yeah. So I this is what I was getting to before. It's like I enjoy the whole like Vegeta goes to Krillin and Bulma's to get the Dragon Ball. Zarbon shows up. Vegeta kills Zarbon, takes the Dragon Ball and leaves. And he thinks he has all seven. And then he runs into Gohan, Gohan coming from the village with the Dragon Ball,
Oh yeah.
and he's able to kind of like hide the fact that he has a Dragon Ball. Um, and I kind of enjoy that scene where Vegeta's like he puts his hand on Gohan's head and he's like we're like brothers.
Oh
We're
yeah.
like the last Saiyans. And then he like knees him in the gut like oh so badly, you know.
Yeah.
He's like what an idiot. But this is where his like confident like overconfidence and pride like gets in the way because he leaves
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, what's that? What do you got in your hand?" He's like, "Oh, it's a watch. It's just a watch." Oh man. And then so Gohan gets back to everybody and he's like, yeah, we have to like leave because it's not gonna take Vegeta long to know that like I took it and he knows where we are." So it's
Yeah.
pretty good. I love that when Vegeta's underwater and he's looking for the Dragon Ball and he
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
find it and he's just like, "Oh, that wasn't a watch. That was some kind of Dragon Ball to locate it." Like he comes to this realization that like, oh, and that scene where he like blasts out of the water and is heading back to where they are, his
Yeah.
eyes are like all bloodshot.
Yes. Yes.
He
Yes.
is just like enraged. And it's like, yeah,
Like he's like
like
blowing
it's
up, isn't he? Like
so
blowing up the
bad.
ground as he's like
Yeah.
flying towards him. Yeah.
He runs into the cave where they were too, and
Oh,
you just
that's
see
right.
like an upside shot of like the cave, and he's just like, no, it just blows through the entire, just blows the mountain apart. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
it's so good. It's a classic, like, there's that classic, like just Vegeta anger, you know.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
Will they find any more Dragon Ball?
Find out next time. Yeah, so that was 58, the unknown enemy, basically. And then 59 is Destination Guru.
Guru. Yeah.
So Krillin and Gohan head back to Guru.
Yep. Goku
hmm
keeps
They fly
training.
super slow, so
Yes, they do.
Vegeta can't sense their energy. Yeah. They fly right down here. They fly like that for 2 days. I don't know if you caught that.
No, but it felt like it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because they're I think they take a break. I think they like flying and they take a break, like a rest break. And they're like, "Yeah, we've been flying for 2 days. Maybe we can kick it up. I don't think Vegeta will sense us now." And then back on the ship, Goku says like, um, he's been training 100 Gs and he only has 2 days left till
Mm,
he lands. So they're setting up like this timeline now. The Ginyu Force was dispatched. They were supposed to be here in 5 days. So that was 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
yeah, yeah.
So I think in real time, like the Ginyu Force and Goku show up the same day or the day after, maybe.
I think they're like a day or two apart from each other.
Yeah, because I don't think like Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin fight the Ginyu Force for like an entire day. I think like when we see the Ginyu Force show up and take all the balls, I think like Goku lands the same day and then has to like find them.
He, well,
Maybe not. I don't know. They do a lot of it's hard too. The other thing about Namek is there's no moon. There's three suns and it's
right,
always daytime, so who knows how long the days are. So they could just be fighting during the day and it could be 2 days. So
right,
who knows? Yeah. So you don't really know.
right.
This is also the episode where we see just how like awful Bulma starts to be. She has like that dream that Vegeta shows up and steals the ball.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get like why they hid her there in this like ravine out in the open. It was
I
like,
don't know.
why don't you I mean, I guess using like a Kai blast to like blast a hole in a ground or something would show your energy. But it's
Yeah,
just like you got to be able to like hide the capsule somewhere, you know?
yeah. I don't know. It's not so much of like that. It's just more of the fact that like she'll be like, "No, please don't. Like, you can't leave me here." And then they'll stay, and then somebody will come like Vegeta, and then she's like, "I can't believe you led them here."
Hmm.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
"Okay," and then they leave to like protect her. And then she's like, "You can't leave me here. You have to take me with you." And then she'll be like, "I'm not going with you. I'm not gonna get killed." It's like that's what just keeps
Yeah, it
happening.
just drives you nuts. And then even before too, like you have like Krillin was out there like risking his life and she was just like mad because she's bored
Right,
in
right,
the capsule house, just like full amenities, just relaxing and doing nothing
right.
to help anybody. And she's just like, "Oh, this sucks." It's like, oh
Right.
man, pretty annoying. So that's why I really enjoy that episode where like Krillin and Gohan and Vegeta like show up, grab the ball, and they're like, "All right, see you later. Like, we got stuff to do. We're not gonna even tell you like what we're doing." And they just take off, and she's like Why the heck did they do that? And then she
Yes,
realizes that
yes.
like Vegeta was with him. It's like I like that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Um, yeah, this is also the one where she loses the ball in the water. I like how everybody's been swimming in the water like so many times, and now all of a sudden there's a Namekian Leoplerodon that she has to like fight, and a giant crab, and all
Yeah,
this like horrible underwater stuff
for kind of no reason.
for no reason. Yeah.
It's like trying to
Uh,
do that thing where it's like maybe don't hate her,
it's like,
but
hey, we should have an episode where Bulma has something to do.
right.
It's like, yeah, yeah, you should do that. Yeah, so then episode 60 is Bulma's big day. It's a very bad episode. No point of talking about it. Does nothing. She gets the Dragon Ball back that she lost.
Yeah, that's like that's
Yep.
literally.
The only thing that happens in this is that
There's a couple shots of like Goku training, but that's kind of it.
yeah. Is this the one where Goku like blasts himself with the Kamehameha wave like 3 times? He
Yes.
like shoots it around the ship and comes back. Yeah,
So
pretty good.
basically, because you're saying how terrible it is, I looked it up and it's like
Oh,
him
it's a
using,
TV filler episode for
yeah,
sure.
it's a
Yeah.
him using Ion and her being held hostage and then killing the crab is the both of those are exclusive to the anime.
Yeah. No, I figured that 100%. It feels like a filler episode. A lot of this stuff on Namek could be wrapped up in like 10 episodes, honestly.
Yeah, which is probably why they ended up doing that other
Hmm.
version of it.
Well, that's the thing is like, so in the manga, it's panels. It's like 3 panels
Right, right.
per page or whatever. And it's like, so now you have to stretch that into like animation.
Like a
That's why, like,
25, yeah.
yeah. That's why, like, a lot of episodes you get like a full what happened last time. You get like a
Yeah.
full, sometimes you get like a full, like, flashback that's just a previously aired episode that they show most of again.
Right.
You get
Yes.
a
Yeah.
lot of that kind of stuff. But yeah, that episode totally is just a filler.
It's like
Stretch it out.
it was like those slug guys or whatever they were when they first got them fake Namek, It was just
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
what
I
is
hate
this?
I hate that. I hate that. That's probably the worst that we've seen so far, honestly.
Yeah.
The only other thing that happens in this episode at the end is like Krillin and Gohan are like, "Yeah, we've been flying for a few days. We can boost up our speed." And then go Vegeta immediately like, "Oh, they're that way. They're across the planet." And he just takes off and like, just he finds them like immediately. So it's like, what a waste.
Yeah, true.
So 61 is Hidden Power. I enjoyed the beginning of this episode. I wrote down here that I enjoy that Goku still has a lot of like his little kid tendencies that we've seen in
Oh,
Dragon Ball.
yeah,
He was bouncing on his head because he's
yeah.
back down to like one gravity, and he's like, I feel light as a feather. And he's jumping on his head and doing all
Yeah,
this stupid stuff. Yeah, I enjoy that. I think I
yeah,
appreciate that much more now. I've watched all of Dragon Ball.
and
Because
gone.
before it feels like the Ginyu Force stuff in a way where you're just like, oh, Goku's like this serious like fighter, but he's just like really stupid sometimes.
Yeah,
But you appreciate that much more now. Like, yeah, he's supposed to be like that. I like that.
like that's who he is, right?
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty fun. I like when he reaches in the fridge too, and it's like a beer, and he's like, oh no, that's not what I need. And he reaches back and oh, a sport. It was almost like an advertisement for just a sports energy drink.
Oh,
He's like,
true.
oh,
Yeah.
this is full of sodium and protein, and this is exactly what I need after a long workout. I was like, that's really out of place. It was almost like I wonder if when it was originally aired in Japan, if it was like an actual
Like he says the name of the
company.
product. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
And then in English dub, they just like drew over it and wrote like sports drink on it.
Right, right. Probably. I would
It's pretty
assume
funny.
so.
It's pretty
Well, let
great.
me look. I can look it up. Mhm.
Gohan gets his secret powers released,
Yep.
and Vegeta says that Vegeta thinks that it's Goku inside there because he says it's the same power energy that Gohan had on or Goku had on Earth. So Gohan is like officially as strong as Goku when Vegeta fought Goku on Earth last time. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
This is when Ginyu Force lands. We get to see them all pose for the first time.
Oh,
That's pretty
is
cool.
this also where yeah. Does doesn't doesn't Vegeta like flip him off?
I think so.
Maybe it
He
was so
does. Yeah, I think he does when they show up, doesn't he?
think so too.
Pretty funny. Doesn't Vegeta also blast a hole in Guru's like house? Or no?
I think so,
He's
yeah.
like, "Who's in there?" And he like blasts the roof off, and it's just Guru sitting there in his chair.
Yep.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, so this is where they team up. This is where they decide, like, hey, like this isn't good. Like we basically like if I die, you're never gonna get home. Like this
Right.
is it's over.
And this is why at the end it's like I'm J I'm Jace.
G'day, mates. So the Ginyu Force has like three or four different poses. Don't like when they first show up, they do that like thing. I think it's like behind me. That's like their pose when
Yeah,
they show up.
yeah.
And then like before they go, they like stand like smallest to largest, like right behind each other.
Oh yeah.
And then this is also too where they're like, um, oh, maybe it's the next one.
All they do in this one is just pop up and then they're like, oh, excellent. You know, they're just like
So yeah. So it's so 62 is new ally, new problem. Um, yeah. So the Ginyu Force is following Vegeta and the guys. And this is also when Goku wakes up. His alarm goes off and he gets ready with new clothes.
right.
And he says he's 20 minutes. He's 20 minutes from the planet. But when the Ginyu Force takes off, they do that like hop, 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 hop. They do like
Yeah.
this whole like, oh, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. It's really, really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, they drop in on everybody pretty quickly.
I thought it was really funny that the Ginyu Force symbol have like an upside down Star Trek com badge.
It's pretty like Star
It's
Trek, isn't it?
pretty funny.
It's like a V, but like why is it a V? Shouldn't it be like a G?
Yeah, it should.
It's a funny logo, yeah. So that was 62.
Yep.
Um, that is where I had left off. But yeah, so we'll have you do what I usually do here. So 63 is Goldo's Mind Bends. Mind Binds is what it's called. Goldo's Mind Binds.
Um, yeah, this is the episode where Gohan and Krillin and Vegeta attack Goldo, who basically he freezes them like they're like
Mm.
Gohan and Krillin are like
Yeah,
yeah, and then he just like freezes them in the air,
I remember
and,
that.
and then he's like, all right, here we go. I'm just gonna kill these guys, and then um Vegeta just
Sneaks up.
yeah, he just kind of like goes over to him and then decapitates him.
He just like chops him in half. I like that because like everybody's like so surprised by it. It was just like it's not like hey, it's not like an RPG like where you attack me, then I attack you, then you attack me and I attack you. It's like no, I'm gonna kill this guy because he's a threat and he's like distracted. The episode before this too is when they were all like doing rock paper scissors to see who got to like fight. But
Yes.
he's like, come on, I have beef with Vegeta. I should be able to fight him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So Goldo's dead. That's good.
Like pretty much immediately.
Immediately, yeah, a little.
And then they're like, okay. And now they're gonna do the rock, paper, scissors over who fights next.
Yeah,
And then Recoome,
Recoome.
I'm gonna go next.
Yeah, so 64 is Recoome Unleashed. This is the abridged like fan made dub that I always like talk to you about.
Okay.
This is where like most of the really funny like quotes and stuff come from is a lot of this section here on Namek. And they have some really funny
Okay.
ones. They portray Recoome as being like this like WWE star. He's like,
Okay.
the name is Recoome.
That's funny.
It rhymes with doom, and you're gonna be feeling it all too soon. It's like really funny. They portray
That,
him as like just this big WWE like idiot,
that's
which he
funny.
kind of is, you know.
Yeah. He
They
totally
really
has kind
doubled
of a
down
big
on Chase being from Australia. He's like, I'm from Space Australia, mate. It's like, yeah, we get it. You're from Space Australia.
yeah. And
Yeah.
he him and Vegeta go back and forth pretty good for a bit. It's mostly Recoome taking the upper hand
Mm.
because Recoome is like he gets hit a couple times and then he like fights Vegeta back and
They blast his armor too. Uh,
yeah.
is this the episode or is the next episode where he uses like his mouth beam?
Yeah, he does it in this thing.
Okay.
But
I
this is
remember
also
that.
the episode where Vegeta's like he goes like yeah and he like blasts Recoome and then Recoome comes out and he's like ooh and it's like his like armor's all blown apart and I was just like
He does the
oh
side like hands like, ooh,
yeah.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I remember that. And then he does the mouth thing in this episode, and Krillin
Yeah.
sneaks up behind him and does the like double-handed like yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes, we did it. And then like the dust settles and he's just like, oh, my teeth. Like just his teeth are gone, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
And they fight pretty good, but basically, like you said, he just Recoome basically defeats Vegeta and then he defeats Krillin.
Mm.
And it's like, what are they going to do now?
There was a couple really good episodes where like the art at the end, like the episode would end and it would do like that art, like as they're like, what, this is happening, what's gonna happen next? And it would be like
Oh, like a
I think one of them
stylized
was like Vegeta was here and Frieza was here and Gohan and Krillin were like
Krillin.
flying
Yeah.
away and
Yes.
they
Yeah.
do a couple
They
of I
have
don't remember.
they have one too where like I think like Goku is like they're like Goku is coming. Will he get there in time? You know, one
to
of those
save
things.
his friends and his son. Don't forget his son.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so 65 is let the battle begin.
Yeah, and this is like I don't know, it was kind of okay. This is kind of what I was talking about, where it'd be like, wow, interesting, and then it'd be like another episode, and you're like, oh, like pretty much all that happens is Gohan's like, now I'm going to attack you, and then it cuts back to like Chi-Chi and Dr. Breen
Oh,
on the planet, and
like
they're all
like in their space, they get in space carrier, like they're going.
something like that. Yeah, he's getting ready to make a spaceship, and then like Chi-Chi tries to go, but she because she can like sense that he's in danger, that Gohan's in danger.
Oh man, that's weird. I don't remember any of that stuff. Yeah.
And then like Captain Ginyu brings the Dragon Balls to Frieza, who commends him, and then um they just kind of like talk, and then it goes back to Gohan, and
Hmm.
that's kind of it.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't remember.
They know
Oh,
they tr
I'm I'm gonna watch these obviously before the next section just so I'm on the same page. But like, yeah, I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember Briefs building another ship.
yeah. And I think the other thing too that kind of happens is I think they get this is where they get all the like Ginyu brings all the Dragon Balls.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, okay, and then nothing happens.
Oh, okay, good. So you have seen that. That's good.
And he's like, what? There must be some other. And then they're like, we will go and find those, and then, you know, and then, and then the thing happens, and I was like, oh. And then that was like the first time I probably had what most fans of the show had is like, they're all standing there and like Recoome is beating them all up. And I mean, everybody's all
Oh,
battle damaged and everything. And then it's like, the little glistening white thing is coming out of the
mm,
sky,
hmm.
and it's just like, uh-oh. And it's like, Goku is here.
It's a pretty great entrance. I like that. If I remember it correctly, I think the next one gets into it. Or
Yeah.
does he do his attack in the end of this episode?
No, he did literally it just lands and then it's like, who's inside the thing? Who can that be?
Who could it be?
Yeah, and
We've
it's
only been
like,
talking about it for 12 episodes.
yeah, just it shows him like basically getting ready to like leave the shuttle, but that's about it.
They should have do they show him like stepping out of the shuttle like Vegeta did when he landed on Earth? Kind of like no.
No, not until the next episode. Next
Okay.
episode,
So
they do a big pan up and he has like the sensu bag and like the
I
wind
remember
is
he
blowing on him
I
and
remember he tied the bag to his like waist belt on the ship.
yeah,
I like that he got a new uniform on the ship too. He
yeah,
I like how Bulma's dad just like knew his uniform and had like 40 of them made somehow.
yeah, yeah.
I also like that Goku never looked in that cabinet until the day he was getting off the ship, basically. It's like he gave him new uniforms every day to like train a new uniform and he just like never used them. Oh, it's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
so
So
that's
66
yeah.
is Goku's new power.
Yeah, so he comes off of the cap like the spaceship and he's like, "Oh, he senses basically like two strong beings, but he can't sense Gohan and Krillin's." And then he's like,
Mm.
"Oh, because they're dying."
Oh yeah.
And then he goes over to them and he is like, "Here you go. Here are sensu beans." And then they're all yelling at him, like Recoome and
Hmm.
Birder and
Oh, and
Jace.
he's
They're
just
all
like
like,
totally not even
he's not
doesn't
even,
could care less about those idiots. Yeah, I
he's
know.
not.
I really like that.
And and so then he um trying to remember.
He gives Vegeta a senzu bean too in this, does he not?
Uh, I don't think he does.
Okay.
Yes, he does. Yes, 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 yes. And then he goes over to Recoome and Recoome is like, oh, okay, he's like he's strong, but he's not that strong. They're like, okay, and they're like laughing at him and making fun of him. And then then Recoome goes to like attack him, and he
He gets
just
like
like,
mad that he's ignoring him, I think.
yes,
And that's when Goku does the elbow in the gut, right?
yeah.
And just like one punches him.
He's like,
Because it
oh,
pretty sure it kills
he
him.
he he basically like collapses. I don't know if he's dead or not. I don't think he is. And then basically they're all like, what? Like like that's just lucky, but I remember Vegeta at the end of it is like that's not what happened, and then they show him like doing it, and it's
In slow
like
motion, yeah.
he's like and then it hits him, and then
Oh.
like Rakume's body like fills with red,
Mm.
and then that's when Vegeta is like, he's done it. I didn't
He's
think it was even
become the
possible.
Super
He's
Saiyan.
become the Super Saiyan.
Why does he always outdo me every chance? Yeah, he does this whole like thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I like basically like implying that like he broke his spine from the front. Yeah.
right.
Doesn't he like fall to the ground like face down like with his like
With his
butt?
butt in the
Yeah.
air. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there's a thing in the dub too where the Captain Ginyu's like talking to Frieza and he's like, "Yeah, they're all dead. The Ginyus are all dead." And Vegeta's Frieza's like, "Well, they were beaten in battle bravely. At least none of them died in like a pretty embarrassing way." And then that like flashes over to like Recoome and he's like
Yeah, his
pretty good.
butt's just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one I watched was 67 there.
67 is a legend revealed.
And this is like basic, well, this is the thing. It is Berter and Jace against Goku,
Hmm.
but they don't like really do anything to Goku. They do things near Goku, but don't actually do things at Goku. They do
Yeah.
all this stuff where they fly in the air like really fast, and they're like, "Why
He's
isn't
just
he
dodging it.
moving?" No, no. At first, he's not. They're just getting really close, and Goku isn't
Oh,
like moving at all. And they're just like, "What?" Like I don't understand. And then it pans out. They do a couple more maneuvers, and then it pans out, and Vegeta's like, "It's like no, to an untrained eye, you wouldn't see it." But if you look, and then they pan down to Goku's feet, and like the grass is trampled like near
mm.
his feet. So it's like he has been moving, but you just don't see it.
So fast that he doesn't register. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I think it's this is the episode two that um the reason that why he's able to do that is he's able to like surge his power level really
Only when he
hyper,
attacks.
right, like super high really quickly, really
Yeah.
briefly, and then can just tank like bottom back out like really fast.
Have we seen have we seen that before? His wasn't that a thing in the last tournament that he would power up like as he attacked, like instead of wasting
Kind
it?
of. I was thinking kind of Gohan does that a couple times when he gets like angry.
Yeah, that's when go. Yeah, it's when he can't control it, he bursts
Right.
out like that.
So they keep doing all these crazy things to him, and then finally they like hit him. But then it made me laugh. They're like, ah, yeah, they throw this stuff, and then he's just like, and he kind of does like this. He doesn't really spin it like a pizza thing, but he like Goku takes it, and he's like, and he just kind of throws it away. And they're like, no, impossible. It was just like it really made me laugh. It was it was enjoyable to watch. You
Pretty
know,
good. It is nice when you get to see like even some of the Vegeta stuff, like when you get to see him like destroy
yeah,
Oh man, the pink guy.
Yeah,
Because you physically see him do a lot of like horrible stuff to the Namekians, and then Vegeta like just easily destroys him. And then same with like Zorban. Like it's nice to see.
yeah,
And then when Goku shows up, like these guys, like everybody's had a problem with them, and then Goku shows up, and it's just like, no, no, they're nothing to
yeah.
me.
They had a couple cool shots too, where like they like literally phase through Goku and even Krillin, and everybody's like, "What is even happening? Like, how are they not hitting them?"
Mm.
And then they're all putting it together, and then the episode literally ends with, um, like I said, a deflection thing, and Birder's up there, and then they're like, he's all angry, and he goes down to look at him again, and then he's like, I think he shoots at him, and he like, and then Goku's not there, and he's like, where did he go? Like, and then he just Goku is like behind him,
Mhm.
and
It's
he's
pretty
like,
good.
"Hello." Yeah. So I don't think anything happens after that. I think it literally ends with him just behind Birder.
Nice. Well, that's cool. Hopefully they don't run back and cry to Captain Ginyu about what happened, you know.
They wouldn't do that.
So, since this is the end of the second half of the Namek saga,
Okay.
we're gonna do your Dragon Balls. The
Okay.
thing I always forget too is at the end that you make your wish. I've like forgot that the past couple times and had to like have you do like a retroactive thing. I don't know how I
Oh,
forget that. That's like the whole point of this whole thing. It's
I
like,
almost wondered though if like I wasn't doing it because like the dragon's destroyed, but yeah.
well, we're on Namek now.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a dragon.
Maybe.
We don't know. We don't know this dragon's name yet either, which is fun.
This dragon's name is Henry.
It's not Shenron. That I can promise you.
That I can tell you.
I can't wait till you see the dragon.
He's
It's a
gonna be
cool.
so cool.
He's gonna be sweet. He's gonna look like a dragon. All right, well, so for your one star Dragon Blues, the most forgettable character,
Um, I'd say Chi-Chi because she's barely in it, but it's definitely Bulba.
is she the most forgettable or is she the most hated?
Mm, no, no, most forgettable.
Okay. Good. All right, so for the two star is your favorite character.
I I want to say the person I've enjoyed the most is Krillin, I think, in this stretch.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
cool
that
to see
yeah,
Krillin doing stuff, you know.
yeah, and I liked seeing him like kind of take lead and take charge and like make good decisions and like yeah, stuff ends up still happening, but like he's trying really hard to like
Even when he is like scared and wants to like leave, he knows like he can't just give up.
right, exactly, exactly.
And the thing that everybody forgets about Krillin is like Krillin is just a human,
Right.
you know.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so for the three star is your MVP. That's an interesting one, this section.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Goku when, you know, he shows up and saves the day, but there's a lot of things that happen on Namek before he gets there that shapes the way things happen
Right,
on Namek
right.
before he gets there. It could even be Guru.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I think I'm gonna say Vegeta.
Nice. Yeah. I mean,
I
he so
think
he takes out two of Frieza's most powerful, like first
right,
and second guys.
but like his whatever you want to say, his motives may not be good, but like he is consistently and repeatedly stopping Frieza from getting the Dragon Balls
Yeah.
until the very end when Captain Ginyu does it, and then it just like we're just everybody Namek is all fortunate that it doesn't work, but it's at that point like Goku was what 20 minutes away from Namek by the time
Hmm.
Frieza gets him, so it's like
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Well, the thing is too is like Frieza would have found them way sooner.
Right, right, exactly.
Um, it's a very interesting storytelling because if Frieza had never showed up to Earth to be a bad guy, he would never have learned how to like sense without the scouter.
Oh, right.
And being able to learn that helped him find and hide a Dragon Ball from
Yeah.
Frieza in the beginning.
Yeah. I
And
think
it
like
gave him an upper hand against like Frieza and his goons, you know? So like that's very interesting.
yeah, exactly. And I think your point earlier kind of like cemented it in my mind is like when he gets breaks out of the because we're doing the whole Namek saga. So when he breaks out the second time out of like the
Hmm.
healing tank thing, he him like whipping the Dragon Balls like out the window and then like sneaking out. It's a
Yeah.
pretty it's a pretty remarkable thing for like really what's happening because like he is working for Frieza. Like
Yeah.
it's not like he's not like an anti-hero who just is caught in the crosshairs kind of thing. It's like no, he's one of Frieza's men.
He's and his storyline is cool too because it's like he was like a tool of Frieza's.
Right.
And he found out in this section here that Frieza like destroyed his planet and his father and all the Saiyans.
Exactly.
And he like hates Frieza for that. He's always hated Frieza.
Yeah.
Now he has an even more reason to like defeat him.
Yeah.
He's bent on
Yeah.
making sure that Frieza dies by the hand of a Saiyan, basically.
Right.
That's like his
Exactly.
goal. And
Exactly.
that's cool. So even though he does like horrible things,
Right.
you're like you're you're rooting for him to take out Frieza, you know?
Yep.
So I enjoy that. That's cool. That's a good answer. So for the 4 star is the best fight sequence.
Hmm.
There's a few in this section.
I mean, Vegeta versus like Monster Zarbon the second time is pretty
Hmm.
good. But and I think ultimately the one I'm gonna pick, and I think it's because of the thing that you talk about to like help me keep in mind is Goku versus Recoome, even though it's like really not it's not really
Hmm.
anything. It makes they build it up in such a way that him elbowing him and him like passing out or dying or whatever is like it has actual weight behind it instead of you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, Goku's strong. It actually feels like he's that powerful
Yeah.
because all the way leading up to that, you have Vegeta and Krillin, like they're all attacking him constantly. They're blowing him up, and he's like his armor is ripped off, and it's like a lot of really over the top things are happening to him, and he's kind of fine. Like he's roughed
Yeah.
up, but he's not really that bothered by it. And then all Goku does is like elbow him in the gut, and he's like, "Nope, I'm done."
Hmm. Yeah, and
So,
Vegeta has come back from the brink like twice.
right, right, right,
And so you have Gohan who is as strong as Goku on Earth. You have Krillin and Vegeta who's like double his strength as Earth.
right,
And they get like beat pretty badly.
right,
Goku shows up and one punches Recoome.
right.
Like it's like whoa.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think
like
just
that.
more for it's I find that like as there are more interesting battles that are kind of like dragged out in the sense where it's like who like really what's going to happen here and there might be more interesting fight styles or fighting wise. I just think the satisfaction of showing that Goku is very powerful now, is even more powerful than he was on Earth,
Hmm.
is very rewarding to this stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, and everything kind of comes down to like him showing up.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And that's a pretty good payoff when he finally gets there, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I like that. So five is your most hated character.
Um, I really don't I really didn't like oh man. Hmm.
Dodoria.
No, no. Um it was like one of the side it was like one of the side henchmen guys, and he just like
Hmm.
I forget what his name was, but he felt so like unnecessary and almost like how did this guy ever become a part of like Frieza's like thing? He was like yellow. He was like yellow orange. He was like a dinosaur looking guy.
Oh, you talking about the one that shows up and kills that last
Yes.
Namekian? Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't remember what his name was. He looked the same as that a pool character,
Yes.
but
Yes.
he was blue and orange. Yeah. I forget what his name was.
It just felt like I get it, but it just felt like he was such an unnecessary character. And like he goes and does this thing. He's really stupid. He blows this guy, he kills this guy, and then he goes. It was like Nail, right? He kills Nail.
No,
No.
I don't think no. Maybe.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. He goes and he kills the last Namekian that was in that village where Vegeta hid the ball, and
Yeah, I thought.
that's why Frieza kills him because
Right.
yeah, he doesn't know where the ball is. It wasn't Nail.
Okay.
Nail is still at Guru's.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I just like it did all this stuff, and then you're like, okay, and then he gets there, and then Frieza just kills him, and you're just like, okay, I don't
Yeah,
care
it's
about that
pointless.
person.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I forget what his name was. Here's a fun fact. Remember the crocodile guy that Bulma runs away from the whole episode?
Oh yeah, huh.
I had the subtitles on for the episode. His name was Blueberry.
Excellent. Blueberry.
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool. Cool. I'm so glad.
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
Um, so so six star is the funniest liner scene.
That Tien telling the joke thing definitely made me, I like legitimately laughed out loud. I don't
Okay.
know if I laughed at really anything else in the stretch. I mean, there were some little things here and there, like them posing, but it was more like eye rolling. Him
Mm-hmm.
saying, "My name's Jace," like I did laugh at it, but not, that's
Not for
not
the good reason. Yeah.
right. I think it was totally like everybody mocking Tien for not being able to do it, and then him like charging up and then saying a really dumb joke, and Kai just being like he trying to like not laugh. That I think was legitimately the funniest thing.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Because I don't even think like in the earlier stretch when we watched the other earlier Namek stuff, like I don't think there's a lot of
No, I mean other than Dr. Briefs being like,
nah.
"Oh, that cappuccino, you're gonna want that cappuccino machine."
Yeah, I mean the whole
Like
like
that's funny, but like yeah,
Goku on the ship with the fridge and all that was funny, and yeah. No, I think
pretty
that's it.
good. I like how Poir and Oolong are just like at Capsule Corp with Dr. Briefs just so you don't forget that like they are characters in this
They
universe.
still exist in the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
All right, so then for the seven is your favorite episode.
That, hmm. I'll say it this way. I thought about when Captain Marvel blows up, what's it, like Sanctuary 2 in Avengers Endgame. And
Yeah.
then Rocket's like, "Oh yeah," whatever he says, like, "You guys are gonna
Yeah.
die now,"
Yeah.
whatever he
Yeah.
says.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's literally after I saw the little white sparkle in the sky. I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, "Oh!" Like, so it had, even though it's the one before
Yeah,
he
it's
fights
60,
Recoome.
65.
Yeah,
Let the
like
battle begin.
technically, like that, the first part of that episode wasn't like super thrilling, but that part like really jazzed me up. So
Yeah. No, that's cool. I get that. That is like kind of the same feeling.
yeah,
Yeah. I like that. They've done that throughout this arc when um someone is like flying towards them
uh-huh.
and you see that little like glint
Yeah,
in the
right,
sky,
right.
and then they like show up. So like seeing that you're like, "Oh yeah, like you know who it is."
Yeah,
You're
should have
gonna be
picked
in big
Bulma's big
trouble.
day.
You're gonna be in big trouble when my dad shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
You just wait for
Exactly.
my father.
Just
He,
wait for him.
he's gonna be so mad.
Then he just comes and takes them home.
Yeah. I
I
really
told you not to play
enjoy
with these children.
I do really enjoy that like whole aspect too where Goku shows up and he's just like pays no attention to the threat at hand. Just so not worried by it. It's like what bad guys do, you know, like in shows. Like
Yeah, yeah,
they just show up and they're so like overconfident that they're just not worried about anything. And like it's nice to see that from like the good side.
yeah. He also says to them too, like I think he says to Recoome and like the other two that like, okay, like you guys can leave, like carry on, like because he's like,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna fight you, like I don't care about fighting you.
Yeah. All right, so what is your wish for the I don't even know what we're calling this next section. This next section that we're doing is like the Captain Ginyu saga and the first part of the Frieza saga.
Captain Frieza saga.
Captain Ginyu Frieza saga.
I think my wish is I'd like to either I gotta pick one. I can't. The dragon won't listen to me. I I want to see the new dragon
Mm.
because I still feel like seeing him light up and get yellow hair is still pretty far from here. So
We're we're getting close.
yeah, it
We're
feels like
getting
with Vegeta
close.
being like, oh, he's doing it. I feel like with him being like that we're getting there, but I don't want to. Still feel like it's a ways off.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Those are two cool things to wish for. And maybe you'll see him
Dragon
next year.
only the dragon only grants one at a time.
It's cool that you got to see them like try to summon the dragon and nothing happens. I like that.
Yeah. What?
There was something else funny in this section too, where it's when they go see Guru. The like spaceship and everything works with like voice command, but in Namekian.
Oh
And then
yeah.
when they go see Guru, they all just speak English, and he commands the elevator to like lift in English, and it works fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, thought it had to be in Namekian.
Yeah.
They all just speak English. Like they get the Namek and they all speak English. They don't have a translator.
No.
It's just they all speak English. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
So
a problem.
no, doesn't matter. I'm sick of the running gag too, where like, hey, he looks just like Piccolo. I'm so sick of that. Every episode, then they see it and they're like, oh, they do it again. They see Nail comes out of Guru's house and they're like, hey, that guy, he looks just like Piccolo. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've never seen an alien before.
No. No, they don't live with like horrible monstrosities just in everyday society.
No.
It's not like you go to the supermarket to get like vegetables and stuff, and you're shopping in there with like dinosaurs that are also humanoid buying vegetables. That doesn't happen.
No. And what was the guy's name? Bunyan or something? No, bacterium.
Bacterium, yeah. What was the actual dinosaur guy that Goku fought? That did like the bubble gum attack.
Oh. Oh,
That was like Girin.
yes, Garen. Garen. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
Girin because like way later on we get to this other character and his name was Jiren. I got that confused. The dinosaur guy is Girin.
Yeah. Wasn't it called merry-go-round rope?
Merry-go-round rope. Yep, that was it. You nailed it.
Yep. And I love all of their sky dancing that they're doing in this.
They're doing a lot of sky dancing. Yeah, and so much so that we don't even talk about it.
Yeah. It's normal now.
Sky dancing. That's ridiculous. Oh well. All right. Well, that about wraps us up. That was cool. Another month, another wish. Cool. All right.
Uh,
Well, we'll catch you guys next month.
for Dragon Ball
More
Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
かけてくるよアップルのモンスター飛んでくるよナッツの香りエイリアン出会ってドキドキピカピカ銀河はポットンシャワー急にバイバイバイ不思議いっぱい力を込めておかわり OK ライライライミラクル全開パワー晴れる理由でスキットン山ほど高さに水平線出会って別れて出会って別れて大変ああもう神様も辛いよねごめん満腹全開パワー出てこいとびきり全開パワー踊ってるよコーヒー味ザウルス笑ってるよチーズたっぷりスコーピオン出会ってドキドキプルプル宇宙はタイム申請に
No, this is getting good,
Getting real good.
which means I'm sure you hate it. So, all right, here we go.
There we go.